Art. Art is a beautiful thing, isn't it? I myself call myself an artist. Just look at my piece from earlier. Marvelous.
Gonna kill you.
Oh, you love it.
Seriously? You've been painting dicks non-stop for the last 2 weeks? Jesus Christ, I regret agreeing to help your asses.
Oh yeah, what have you been doing, huh?
Jerking off. Don't judge me.
So, have you heard of PT? The game itself was a pretty decent demo with the gimmick that the same hallway will loop and spooky stuff will happen, like Woman and a Baby in a Sink. Remember these, they will come up later. Now the big thing about this was that the game was a teaser for a Silent Hill reboot, which got cancelled. Womp womp. But that didn't stop people from crying. Anyway, so the pretty alright gimmick for an hour gave the smart lads at Bloober Team the bright idea to stretch a gimmick into a multi-hour long game. But not only that, let's also fill it with so many jump scares that the player gets numb 20 minutes into the actual game, with endings that are way too complex with unthinkable tasks to perform which probably don't even work anyway. And on top of that, let's just make the game a collectathon of notes and objects. And that is Layers of Fear, the most boring horror game I think I've ever played in my life. This video is gonna go swimmingly in the comments, isn't it? Layers of Fear has us play as a painting in a funny house and on drugs, and honestly, I'm very unsure as to how I'm going to start here. If I was to go into chronological order, I'd literally be describing next to nothing happening, because nothing happens. The gameplay, so to speak, is walking through hallways which lead you all over the place, and then marvel at whatever jump scare the game will throw at you. Do this until you get one big jump scare, puzzle, or gameplay, which will give you an implement to paint. Do this 6 times and we finish art. Now, this goes into problem 1 of Layers of Fear. There's nothing to do. Outside of walking, opening drawers to find notes and objects, because the idea of storytelling outside of anything but straight up telling you is alien to Bloober Team. And trust me, I will get to the story. But the game doesn't have much of anything outside of walking. You begin the game and we find ourselves having to solve a puzzle, looking for a code and unlocking a box and allowing for progression. So is Layers of Fear a puzzle game? No. The game has some interesting ideas like having to break a cycle of moving forwards, only to do the same thing over and over again by making us go back. Or a literal children's maze, easily the pinnacle of complex puzzles. But that's it. In terms of things that the game will have you do outside of walking, or watching a jump scare happen for you to make knocking noises to. That and looking at paintings. So today we have our beautiful look into art. I love art. We have Potato Man. Look at that smile. That award-winning smile. Naked babies holding other naked babies. I sure hope no one goes to my house after I finish that sentence. Naked woman. God, I love those toes. Quite literally anyone when I told them I'm a YouTuber. And last, but certainly not least, Bearded Baby Man. Now, the art of this game is really good. Although apparently there are examples of plagiarism here. So I'm holding my tongue into what I do and don't praise in this department, but it does make walking around somewhat enjoyable to the eye. Now let's discuss one thing that this game does right. The PT plagiarism of the mansion twisting around you is performed extremely well. I don't know how much of a pain in the arsehole program these were, but each time it happens where doors will disappear or the world will shift if you so much as turn your back is smooth every single time. Oh, and the music is really good. I have no notes. The tracks are either some really beautiful piano pieces, depressing music boxes, or some tense ambience along the lines of Little Nightmares. So my positives are the art that isn't plagiarized is good, the game is technically impressive in anything but gameplay, and the music's nice. Alright, 10 out of 10, put this shit on the scariest games ever list.
What the fuck is this?
So, now that we've backhandedly described what I like about this game, I need to discuss the game's biggest issue. And that's the jump scares. Layers of Fear as a game is a haunted house simulator. You open a door, find a jump scare, and move on. And each floor will have these built up to one big jump scare. The issue being that because of how often these jump scares occur, you grow numb to it near instantly. Sure, the first 5 times I shat my pants, but after the 6th I had no reaction. And after the 30th, I wanted to kill myself. I just want you to think about literally any other piece of horror media that uses a jump scare. There are long pieces of build up, leaving you safe enough to drop your guard, and then making you die in real life. And if the piece of media is of actual quality, then you won't use jump scares at all, using ambience, sound effects, visuals to unnerve you, and putting you on edge for a jump scare that never comes. Or you can have a baby run into a closet. I'll now show you my reaction to a baby running into a closet.
Yeah, just walk back and then walk forward again.
It works!
Oh yeah, it's this! It's this scene! Hang on. Which minute? Yes, Germeister, if you can see this from.
Anyways, here is every single big jump scare from each level. Chapter 1, Root. Chapter 2, Door. Chapter 3, Piano. Chapter 4, Baby. Chapter 5, peekaboo. And chapter 6, we drown ourselves and see the freaky wife and the freaky baby. And this is where we need to discuss the freaky wife and the freaky baby. So, if you remember a while back, I mentioned that PT had a funny woman and a sick baby. Whilst the latter may not be completely stolen, the former 1000% is.
She said she was 12!
If you haven't played PT, which chances are you haven't, the game has an antagonist called Lisa, who will kill you if you look at her. Laissez-faire has your wife, which will kill you if you look at her. And the thing is, she doesn't even kill you. I'll say this again, you cannot die in Laissez-faire. You get jump scared the first time, she shakes her head in disapproval, and then all fear vanishes because you know that running into her loving embrace will have jack in terms of consequences. And that's where my problems all come from. The game has no consequences, there's no stakes, no genuine fear of literally anything happening. So by the end, I was a rotting corpse just wanting to beat the game. And now we talk about the story. Now, look, I won't be going into detail about a story that I could care less about. So here's a quick TLDR as to what I could understand from this story. We're a painter. We have a happy wife, a happy daughter. But oh no, our wife gets caught into a fire. And now that our muse is gone, our paintings get stinky and bad. And it was at this point I'm going to stop making jokes about the story as to avoid being a dick. The painter begins to lock himself away, churning out paintings to the pain of his wife and daughter, drawing himself death and genuinely being abusive to his family.
Oh God. Wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
With likely signs of schizophrenia added on top, with the constant rat visuals and notes of exterminators, but this is the point where his wife takes her own life, and it's sadly ruined by the actor's performance here.
What is taking so long? Open this fucking door! I need to go! Open up! Hell is... Oh, God. No. No. What have you done? No!
And after this, his daughter is presumably taken by child services. As the painter is left alone, his ending is up for debate. Honestly, it's a genuinely really interesting story, and I really wish that it was told any bit differently. Like any other horror game without any actual understanding as to how to tell a story. The game will leave you with notes telling you as to what is happening, or with objects letting disembodied voices tell you the story, but you are shown nothing. No, that would be a lie. Because the game tries to show you the story some really interesting visuals, like how to show the painter cranking paintings out. You literally have to pull a crank, hearing the screams of your wife and daughter in the distance, or to symbolize the fire, you go up to the attic with the whole building burning beneath your feet. But it's the occasional good bits like this that's disrupted by having you told the story, by making you sit down and read, or giving you something unrelated like checkers. What? Because screw something relevant like paintings, or the constant imagery of rats. Clearly checkers is the pinnacle of storytelling we all know and need. And then we talk about the endings. The main one gives us a Groundhog's Day scenario where the painting will morph at the last second, and we repeat the process over and over. And then we get to the other endings. So, you know Silent Hill 2? If you know anything about that game, then you know that getting the endings will have you, without any hints, have you do random things. So Laissez-faire took that and made gameplay of pick up items and look at paintings, and to then get the good endings, you can't pick up certain items and can't look at paintings. Honestly, I'm done with this game. The self-portrait ending has the artist draw self-portrait, as you see it put into a gallery with all his art. And the family painting ending didn't work for me despite doing all the actual requirements. I mean, has the artist painted his wife and child before realizing it won't bring them back, making his way to the storeroom before setting his work ablaze, letting the flames take him with his work. And that's a good ending, yippee! Again, endings themselves are fine. The requirements are dumb, and whoever's decision they were should do what the painter just did. Kill yourself! And that's Laissez-faire. The game has some good ideas in there somewhere, but I think that the game is too overambitious for its own good, especially with how underexperienced Bloober Team was at the time. So my question begins here. How did the people who made this shite make a genuinely good Silent Hill 2 remake? And that's where the DLC comes in. That's why join me next time where I'll be discussing Laissez-faire Inheritance. Why don't I just do it in this video? Laziness. Bye.